Hi, it's Doug Bowman here. Welcome to my lesson video for A Lie by the incredible Andy Wood. If you haven't checked out Andy's playing, please go and do so. He's an amazing player. I heard this track for the first time last year and it's become a firm favourite of mine. Definitely one of my favourite instrumental tracks of recent years. So to give you a flavour of some of the things that we'll cover in this lesson, let's have a quick look at the playback. Okay, this piece is highly technical. Andy is an amazing alternate picker and has some fantastic licks going on throughout the song. So I've slowed it down to about 90% of what Andy plays it at, and I'm still struggling. I have to record a number of versions to get that, and I still struggle with a number of the parts. What we're going to look at is the first half of the song up to the start of his guitar solo. I have actually started transcribing the guitar solo, so if that's something that people will be interested in, let me know and I can transcribe and do a lesson on the rest of the song. But certainly enough in there, I think, to keep everybody going for now. If you do enjoy the video, please give it a like and subscribe to my channel. Also check out my Facebook and Instagram pages. Links are below. It'd be great to have you following me on there as well, so I can keep you up to date with everything that's going on. As always, there's also a link below to the PDF tablature transcription for this piece. So please get yourself a copy of that and you can use it as we're going along. Okay, let's zoom in and we'll get started with the lesson. We'll start by looking at the main riff that appears quite a few times throughout the song. I absolutely love this riff. It's what really attracted me to this track in the first place. It's very fast, some great picking going on, but it sounds really cool. What I would say is start it slowly and build it up. It's very difficult to play this fast and cleanly, so take it nice and slowly. Okay, I'm going to go quite quickly through this because we've got a lot to cover. Hopefully with the PDF and with going back on the video you can pick up what we're doing here. So the first phrase of this riff goes a bit like this. And we're kind of outlining a D minor 11 chord. The bass note and the chords beneath it, playing D, and we are playing 5th fret on your A string, 5th fret on your D, 5th fret on your G, 6th fret on your B, back to the D on the 7th fret of your G string. This is all alternate picking, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, all the way through. Quite tricky this first part because those first 3 notes are all played with the first finger, barring across there, but obviously you don't want them ringing on, so you need to roll that finger across so that you get a nice crisp clean note. Quite a good idea to also do some palm muting on this to stop things ringing through. What I would say is practice the riff over and over again on its own to get that picking correct. Starting with a downstroke, finishing on a downstroke. Then the riff repeats exactly the same up here at the 12th fret. So 12, 12, 12 on your A, D and G, 13th fret on your B, 14th fret on your G. The bass here is playing an F. The guitar is playing kind of like an F, it's just 2 chord. It's kind of like an F13 chord, so we've got 3rd of the F here, 13th, and 6th, depending on how you look at it, there's no 7th in this chord. The 9th, 5th, and the 3rd of your F chord. So it's an interesting harmony going on here, so it's not a typical kind of riff that you'd hear over these chords, but it sounds really good. So that first part. Okay, so the next part we'll go back down to the 5th fret, so you're jumping from your 5th up to the 14th, back to the 5th fret. I'm going to stop that bit there, so we're starting 5th fret on your G, first finger, roll across to the 5th fret on your G, 2nd finger on the 6th fret of your B string, 1st finger on the 5th fret of your top E, 4th finger on the 8th fret of your B string, and then the 1st finger, the 6th fret of your B. And the fingering here is very important. I've watched Andy playing this live when when I was trying to figure out how on earth you get all these notes in, and this seems to be how he does it. So, because then we're going to go into the end of the riff, then we've got the 7th fret of the G string with your 2nd finger, and we're going to move up, move your 1st finger up to the 8th fret here of your B string, 8th fret of your E string, 12th fret, 10th fret, 8th fret. So we look at those two parts together. It's all alternate picking. When you speed it up, it's getting very fast. Quite easy to get your fingers in a muddle here, so I think this is the best way to finger it. To move that 1st finger up to there, because then you're ready for the next position to play that next part. And then to finish the lick, 10th fret on your B, 8th fret on your B, 10th fret on your G, 7th fret on your G, and then you slide down to the 2nd fret of your G, 5, 3, 2, and your D string. That's very fast moving. I think actually listening to Andy play it, I'm not sure he actually picks that 2nd note, or if it is just a... I tend to pick it because it keeps my down, up going nicely. But I think he slides it. So that final lick all together should end up on a, if you've done your picking correctly, on an upstroke, ready to start again. That is quite a complex piece, and it takes a lot of getting used to in terms of the fingering and keeping that picking going, so please take it slowly and build it up. The lick then repeats. And then ends up on the 10th fret. So that last part is exactly the same as before, but you stop there at the 10th fret. Okay, so let me try and play through the whole thing slowly. As you can see, that last bar is actually in 3/4. It repeats, the whole riff then repeats itself. Listen to the original recording of that to get the timing right when it goes straight back into the repeat. As you can hear, I was muting that quite a bit. When you've got some distortion going on and you're playing this fast, I tend to keep it quite muted. Okay, so each time you play that riff, it repeats twice. And then we go into kind of like the main melody part, which is quite a simple melody, but it's quite hard to make it sound good the way that Andy phrases it. So you play the simple melody, and at the end of each one there's a lick, which is quite exciting. And there's some great licks in here which we'll look through. But the main melody itself goes like this. So it's only actually 4 notes, but it's getting the phrasing of it, and there's a lot of sliding going on. It's all on your B string. Start off here at the 8th fret and slide up to the 10th fret. So pick at the 8th fret and immediately slide up to the 10th fret. Hit the 10th fret again, slide down to the 8th and down to the 6th. So, okay, and then we're going to slide from the 8th up to the 13th. Now this is a big slide. It takes a bit of getting used to, not to get it right. Just a bit of practice there. So again, hitting the note on the 8th fret and immediately sliding up to the 13th fret. Okay, and then you hit the 13th fret again and slide back down to the 8th fret. Again, takes a bit of practice. Make sure you're getting to the right fret. And then down to the 6th fret. So that first bar, you could just play it. That is essentially the melody, but it sounds a lot cooler. Putting those slides and those grace notes in. Okay, and the next bar, thankfully, is exactly the same. So you're basically playing that twice, and then you're sliding up from the 6th to the 8th fret. Okay, so in the first half of this song that we're looking at, that is essentially the melody that repeats on a number of occasions. So I'm not going to go through that melody each time. I'm just going to now look at the various licks that we play after that melody each time. And follow along with the tab and by listening to Andy's original recording of this. Okay, so the first lick here is probably one of my favourites. I love this the first time I heard it. It was another one that made me think, wow, what's he playing there? Because there's a bit of chromaticism going on in here. Great little lick. The lick itself is pretty much based around a D minor scale with a bit of chromaticism thrown in there, and we'll look at that as we're going through it. But we're starting off here, 8th fret of your B string, 11th fret, back to the 8th, and then the chromatic part, 9, 10, 9, 8. So those first 7 notes. I just think that sounds really cool. This lick is being played over D minor, so you're starting off here actually D 4th, up to the B flat, which is the minor 6th, the 4th, sharp 4 to the 5th, so it's very much a blues scale there. So we end that little lick by hitting the 10th fret of your G string, and then 7, 9, 10 on your G, 8 on your B, 9 on your G, 10 on your D, and 7 on your D is where it ends. So that second half, I tend to play actually that 8th fret with my second finger, so you don't have to move your fingers. That's actually an A minor 7 arpeggio, but playing it over the D minor. Kind of gives you kind of like a minor 9 arpeggio over the D. Okay, so that whole lick. So play it how you feel it. I believe Andy kind of picks it all, but you can hammer on and pull off some of those notes. Gives it a kind of different sound. Okay, melody repeats, and then we go into the next lick, which is this. Another great arpeggio lick. So we're starting here, 14th fret with your second finger of your G string, 15th fret of your B, 12th fret of your E, and then the 17th fret of your E. And then we move that pattern down, move down from the 17th fret to the 15th fret. You play exactly the same pattern, so 15, 10 on your E string, 13th fret on your B, 12th fret on your G. So, this is all over a C, so the C major arpeggio, which would fit over that chord, but we're picking out certain parts of it, we're adding in extra notes. Starting off there, we're putting the 6th of the C chord, 9th, 3rd of the C, back to the 6th again. It's almost like a C13 chord we're implying there. And then we're moving down here, so that's the 5th of the C chord, your G, to the D, which is the 9th again, and then the C and the G, which are the root in your 5th. So it is all related to the C chord that's being played underneath. But quite interesting harmony there, making it sound good. So instead of just playing a C major chord. The second part of the lick, we then hit the 10th fret of your G, down to the 9th fret of your G, 10th fret of your D, 12th fret of your A, 8th of your A, down to the 7th, and then back up to the 10th of your D string. Kind of start bending that back up, that C back up to the D, before going back into the main riff. So play the whole lick slowly. All 16th notes until we get to the end there, all alternate picking. When I first started learning, I was tempted to sweep pick that. Something you can do if you want, but to get that real definition, he's using the alternate picking. So a very hard lick to get up to speed, but it is a great one, so have some fun with that. After that lick, the intro riff repeats again twice, and then the melody repeats again, and we're into the third lick, which you can see below, and that goes like this. We start off on the 8th fret of your A string, the 7th fret and the 10th fret on your D string, 9th fret on your G string, 8th and 10th on your B string, then 8th and 12th on your top E. So the ascending half of the lick. Again, it's very reminiscent of an A minor 7 arpeggio, but being played over the D minor. So it's kind of like that D minor 9 kind of vibe going on. So get up to 12th fret, slide up to the 13th, and back to the 12th. So I think Andy's sliding that. So the first one is a grace note, 12th up to the 13th, back to the 12th, and then we come back down again, 8th on your top E, 10, 8 on your B, 9 on your G, 10 on your D. Instead of going back down, we jump back up again to the 8th, 9, 10, 7. Again, another great sounding lick, whether you play it fast or slow. Melody repeats again, and then the next lick is probably the most challenging of the lot. Big sweep picking lick, very fast here. I'm going to play it slowly initially. Starting off with this, which is quite a popular sweep picking arpeggio pattern. In this case, a D minor chord. So sliding up, starting on the 17th fret of your A, 15th fret of your D, 14th fret of your G, 15th of your B string, 13th and 15th on your top E. So to get the speed here, you need to be sweep picking this. If you haven't done that before, there'll be a lot of videos out there on sweep picking, but essentially what you're doing is you are just moving your right hand once, you're sweeping through all the strings as you're playing the notes. Upstroke for that final one. What it allows you to do is to play these arpeggios a lot quicker because it's one note per string. It's almost like strumming a chord. But you need to be very careful to make sure you're hitting the string at the right time, same time as the note, and that you're lifting the note off so you're not getting all kinds of horrible sounds going on. Mine is very rusty. It's something like that you're going for. Then I believe Andy's actually tapping this next bit, so you're sweeping up, tapping onto the 18th fret, pulling off back to the 17th, pull off to your 13th, sweep back to the 15th and the 14th on your B and G string. So, and then you're kind of repeating the same thing but tapping a different note each time. So you've got back to the 14th fret here, back to the 15th fret, 13th, 17th, but this time hammering on the 20th fret. Hammer on at the 20th, pull off at the 17th again, 13, 15, 14, back up again, 15, 13, 17, hammer on at the D on the 22nd fret. That D is then bent up to an E and back down to the D, and I believe he's doing it. So you keep that finger pressed on the 22nd fret, but then bend the string up with your fourth finger at the 17th fret and back down. If you're not comfortable with the tapping, you could slide up to those notes. You could do it like that. But at that speed, it's very hard to get those slides in the right place. So I'm going to do the whole lick slowly. I am not going to attempt it fast. It's not one that I've practiced up to speed, I must admit. If you want to work on your sweep picking and your tapping, it's an excellent lick to try out. Melody repeats again, and then we have the easiest lick. So I think to recover from that previous one, the next one is nice and simple. The melody this time actually goes down to the 5th fret, so after you repeated the, goes down to from the 6th to the 5th fret instead of up to the 8th. And then we go. How nice and easy is that after the last lick? 5, 6, 5 on your B string, 7 on your G, 5 on your G, 7 on your D, back up to the 5th fret on your B string. The last little lick before we go into the kind of the bridge section. So after we've gone, we then bend up the 8th fret, full tone, 10th fret, half tone, 11th fret, full tone, and then the 15th fret, quite slowly, and then hit the 13th fret on your G. And leave those two clashing. I believe there's a whammy bar kind of pulls it down at the end. So you could just walk up the scale, but from what I can hear, I believe Andy's actually bending it. Kind of like that with lots of vibrato. So it's good little practice for your bends. Okay, and then we move into kind of like the middle breakdown section, which is very different to what's gone before and is very difficult to play in terms of the alternate picking through this. So basically Andy's picking out some chords here, but very fast, and a lot of alternate picking going on. We'll talk about what the chords are, mark them on the tablature as well, what each one is implying. But it's a very similar pattern that's going on. So it's getting used to that pattern, getting in the habit, taking it nice and slowly. Andy's done a great set of lessons on jam play, where he talks a lot about how he does his alternate picking. There's some great exercises in there for alternate picking within chords. Something he does a lot. So instead of just, he's actually picking out certain parts of the chord. So we're starting here with the D minor, first half of this bar. If you think of your D minor chord here, he's picking out the bass note, the D, then the 7th fret on your G, and the 6th fret on your B, and then back to the 7th fret on your G. So it's kind of that pattern, but quite muted and quite fast. So we're starting off there, and then he's doubling up, moving up to here. Now you might think that's an E minor chord. It's actually a C. So we're going from D minor to C, with the 3rd in the bass, but we're not actually playing the C. It's exactly the same pattern. And then we're going down, exactly the same pattern, down here at the 4th fret, 4, 6, 5, 6. So down here you might think it's a C sharp minor, but again it's this shape here, so it's the A chord. So we're actually going D minor, C, A, back to D. So that's the first 2 bars. The pattern then changes, so we're staying on the D minor chord, but now we're playing 5, 7 on the D string instead of the G string, and then jumping across to the 6th fret on your B string, and then back to the 7th fret on your D string. This is a bit more difficult, because you're going down, up, down to hit that. You've got to jump across the G string to hit that B string at the 6th fret. So that takes quite a bit of practice, and the rest of this section is all that kind of pattern, jumping between the A, D and B. Okay, so we do the D minor there, and then we go up to the C again. So this time we're doing 7, 10, 8, 10. So then we're going up to an F chord, F major, but we're doing the sus4 to start with. So we're doing 8, 10, 11, 10, 8, 10, 11, 10, and down to the 10th fret on your B. So that bar. When I'm playing this slowly, some of the notes are ringing on. When you're playing this at speed, in the palm muting, you kind of don't want any notes really ringing on. It's quite a staccato kind of rhythm that you're going for. I found this the most difficult part of the song, and I still struggle with it a lot. I am following Andy's course on jam play, and it's very helpful. It's very much about keeping this hand loose but precise. So I find myself even kind of tensing up a little bit when I'm trying to play these notes. Keep it nice and loose and fluid. Practice with the metronome and keep building the speed as and when you're comfortable. If you try and rush it, it all falls apart. But it's a very clever exercise. It's the kind of thing you see Eric Johnson, people like that doing as well. You can take your own chord progressions and play around with picking them out in this way. It gives it a very different sound and feel to just playing the normal chords or picking the normal chords. You're just picking certain parts out. Next part, we're moving up to the 10th fret. So 10, 12, 11, 12, 10, 12, 11, 12. G minor. And then back down to the 9th fret. It's a D major. With the 3rd at the bottom. So 9, 12, 10, 12, 9, 12, 10, 12. Back up to the G minor. And move up to 12, 15, 13, 15, 12. So again, it's that same shape, so it's the F major. 3rd of the F in the bass there. And then we are moving up to 13, 15, 15. It's all on the A, D and the B. So this is a B flat major chord. So we've gone from the F to the B flat major. We then go back to the F, back to the 12, 15, 13. And the final bar of this is the most difficult of all because we're changing chords on each beat. So we're starting off on the B flat, 13, 15, 15, 15, then moving up to a G major. So 14, 17, 15, 17. That part. Then we move up to a C major. Finally moving up to A major at the 16th, 19th and 17th. And then ending up with an F note at the 18th fret of your B string. So, that last part it's kind of modulating up back to the D minor. The F is the minor third of the D minor. In terms of the way to finger this, your bass note is moving up a fret each time. So I kind of do like that, 1, 2 and 4. Then I swap over my 4th finger, having moved up the 1st finger. Put my 2nd finger down. Slide the 1st finger up and move back. Exactly the same, and then do the same again. So very much a repeating pattern going on there. And then we go back to the original main riff, which repeats a couple of times before Andy goes into the solo. But that is where I'm going to end it. I have started transcribing the solo, and it's going to take me a bit longer to finish it. If people really want to hear it and have a lesson on it, please let me know in the comments or send me a message and I'll see what I can do. Okay, we went through a lot there, and I went through it relatively quickly. If there are any questions, please let me know. But use the tablature, play it nice and slowly. Have a listen to Andy's original recording so you can get an idea of the rhythms and where things are happening, and have some fun with it. There's great licks in there that you can play around with and adapt into your own music. Okay, so thanks very much for watching, and we'll see you soon on the next video.